Alabama and Florida State meet for the second time as SEC opponents. Last year in Tallahassee, Florida State was able to come away with a close victory. This is a new year, however, and these two teams have had drastically different starts to the year. Alabama is off to a 3-0 start and are led by new starting quarterback Tyler Buchner and the leading rusher in the SEC, Roydell Williams, along with brand new head coach Glenn Schumann, who was at Georgia as their defensive coordinator before coming to Alabama to replace the legendary Nick Saban after he retired last offseason. FSU is coming off 2 straight losses to begin SEC play, and another loss today could extinguish all hopes of them being in contention for an SEC championship game berth. After these last 2 games, there has been a lot of media attention in Tallahassee focusing on 2 main stories. One, is true freshman Luke Kromenhoek the right choice at quarterback? He's been very up and down in his 3 performances, and should the reins be turned over to the veteran quarterback Tate Rodemaker? And the other main story is focused on how long Adam Fuller is for his job as defensive coordinator. FSU's defense has been atrocious the last 2 games, and those kind of performances certainly aren't helping his job security. The only way to answer these questions is by getting this game started and finding out how this Florida State team will respond to adversity. It's time for kickoff in Tuscaloosa, and we are underway. Florida State is going to start with the ball on offense, and here is their starting lineup. The offensive line from left to right is Simmons, Bennett, Smith, Byers, and Brown. This is the same group that's been together the entire season, so we should continue to see some better continuity between this group of 5 and helping out the protection for their true freshman quarterback. Then the only change with the playmakers is Kentron Portier replaces Landon Thomas. Florida State said with their matchup with Alabama, they liked how Portier could get a few more looks than Thomas, so he will be the official starter in that spot. And then Luke Kromenhoek, the true freshman, is going to make his 4th career start and 3rd SEC start. We'll see if he can kind of get some consistency today for that Florida State group. Then the Alabama defense is a 3-4, where it has Deion Walker, Jaheim Otis, and Yonze Pierre as their 3 down linemen. Watch out for Jaheim Otis. 6'5", 370 frame could definitely be a problem for that Florida State offensive line to block. Then the 4 linebackers are all very talented. Chris Braswell, Deontay Lawson, Kendrick Blackshire, and Jeremiah Alexander all have great length at linebacker and really can pack a punch, and I think the Florida State group could really have a hard time running the ball against those linebackers. And then, as always, for a Nick Saban-led team at Alabama, they've continued the tradition of great defensive backs. Keep an eye out on Caleb Downs, the true sophomore free safety who could really wreak havoc against the Florida State offense. And they are going to get started on 1st and 10. Cam Davis is going to start in the backfield, actually, for Florida State. They're going to pitch it out to him. He's going to try and get some room to the outside. Only going to pick up a yard, and Florida State faces a 2nd and 9 early. Next snap, throwing it out on a screen pass to Johnny Wilson. He makes the catch, but will actually lose 2 yards. Florida State now looking for a different answer here. Luke Kromenhoek making a couple of changes at the line. It's 3rd and 11. Gets pretty decent protection, going to roll out to the right, has a man kind of running free, but makes a bad throw to the sidelines, and that is a 4th down stop for Alabama, and they are going to get the ball back after this. They're going to get a punt from Alex Mastromano, who does not get a ton of work, but does a great job when he does, but he might have outkicked the coverage as Henderson is going to return this all the way to the 45-yard line. And now it is time for us to meet the Florida State defense that is going to be going up against Alabama. They're going to be in their traditional 4 down lineman look, the same 4 guys that have started all year. Keep an eye on C.J. Clark, the redshirt senior transfer. He's been wreaking a lot of havoc on that interior, and they're going to need to get great penetration to stop that Alabama run game. Then they're going to have their 2 linebackers, very experienced group of Taurus Jones and DJ Lundy, who are always looking to lay a hit. So we'll see if they can slow down that Alabama run game with them. And then the 5 defensive backs, a lot of senior leadership in that group, and the one true stud freshman, KJ Bolden, hanging out in the middle of this defense. We'll see if he's going to be able to make a play against this Alabama offense, who is going to be led by an offensive line that is kind of a nice group of a junior and a redshirt sophomore, but plenty of seniors on this group to lead it between Fernando Carmona, Terrence Ferguson, Seth McLaughlin, Tyler Booker, and Elijah Pritchett, of course. And then Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice, Roydell Williams, Brady Hunt, and Ja'Cory Brooks are your skill players that are going to be starting for them. Focus on Roydell Williams. He's the leading rusher in the SEC. He's going to get plenty of touches today. And then they're going to be led at quarterback by the Notre Dame transfer, Tyler Buchner, who was a redshirt junior, taking over this offense that was led by Jalen Milroe in the last matchup last year. We'll see how their performances compare this go around. And Alabama is going to start under center, first down. Going to take a nice deep drop back, trying to find a man to the sidelines, and that throw is way off the mark, out of bounds, 2nd and 10 Bama. Then here comes Buchner. He's going to scramble out to the right. He's got some blocking, but Florida State's able to peel off of it, but still gives up a first down. 14 yards to Buchner, and it's a first down for Alabama. He's going back in the shotgun this time. Looks like there's some safety pressure in the box. They're trying to load it up, trying to get to him, and they do. This time Buchner is brought down by the linebacker DJ Lundy. Gets in for his 2nd tackle of the day already. That one goes down as a sack, and Alabama is facing a 2nd and 16 now, more near midfield than they were before. Roydell Williams gets his first carry, this one for 3 yards, and Alabama has a 3rd and 13. There's not a lot of plays in the playbook. You have picked this one up, so let's see what Alabama can dial up. Here goes Buchner, and he is not able to get rid of the ball. Josh Farmer plants him in the ground for a sack. Great interior pressure. 4th down Alabama, and they are going to have to punt this ball away after some great moves by Farmer getting off that interior block and lays into Tyler Buchner and gives Florida State the ball back in a prime position. The defense really needed it after really getting roasted all week in the media to come out and stop this Alabama offense and not allow any points. They're in a great spot now. And here another great spot is Damian Martinez leading the offense. His first carry of the day goes for 5 yards. Then they're going to go back to Cam Davis, who's going to get near the first down marker, but it will be 1 yard short, 3rd down, under center for Florida State. Going to go right to Damian Martinez, bounces off one of his offensive linemen, and does find that 1 yard that he needs, and that gives Florida State their first down of the day. Must feel good for this offense to get grooving there, and here's a nice little tunnel screen to Elijah Badger, and he's able to work in space for about 12 yards, and that gives Florida State another fresh set of downs, trying to work against this Alabama crowd. The read option not going to work there for Croman Hawk. Loses a yard. It's now 2nd and 11, and this Alabama defense is looking for some support, wanting the crowd to get into it so they can make a stop on this Florida State offense. Screen pass this time. It goes to Rodney Hill, and that's Alabama's Jaheim Otis, who goes and sniffs it out immediately. Allows for a loss of 4 yards now, and it's 3rd and 15 for the Florida State offense. Croman Hawk in the pocket, trying to roll out to the left, seeing if he can make anything happen. Doesn't look like there's anything there, and he'll just pick up about 7 or 8 yards and cut down the distance to go in half, but still leads to a punt. And now Alabama has the ball back. 1st and 10, play action, pass to Brady Hunt at the tight end. That picks up 5, and it will give Alabama a 2nd and 5. Buchner does not like the look at the line, makes a change. He's going to move everybody about, flip the play, see what he can do here in the shotgun. Going to hand off to Roydell Williams, does not get the blocks that he thought. Florida State does a great job there. He was taken by Lamont Green Jr., a redshirt freshman, did not see the field last year, obviously, but makes a great play there. And now Florida State trying to make another stop, and he is stopped short. Kobe Prentice is 3 yards short of the line to gain. And that was the defensive tackle, C.J. Clark, dropping back out of coverage to make a really nice play and gets the Florida State defense off the field again. After a negative 1 yard rush on the first play of this drive, Florida State is going to be facing a 2nd and 11. Let's see what Croman Hawk can dial up, making a couple of changes at the line. They haven't really found their groove on offense yet, and this time he finds Johnny Wilson. When in doubt, throw it to the man who's 6'7". Got to make life a little bit easier for you. This time Rodney Hill gets one of his first carries, this time for 2 yards, and it's the 2nd and 8 for Florida State. Another handoff to Damian Martinez. He's able to find 5 yards, which he's so dang good at. You wonder why they don't just ride the entire offense around Damian Martinez. But now 3rd and 3, and they will go to Martinez again, and he finds a little more room, actually able to pick up 11 yards. And another first down for Florida State as they cross over the 50-yard line and finds a Rondé Gatson on a beautiful play that will actually be the last play of the first quarter. And now we are going to go into this second quarter. Florida State still driving, 1st and 10 against Alabama in a 0-0 game. And the first play of the quarter is going to be a handoff to Hill, who cuts back towards the middle of the field. He'll get 9 yards, and it's a very manageable 2nd and 1 for the Florida State offense as they are thinking points here. Croman Hawk rolls to the right, fires to the corner of the end zone, and there is Deuce Spann for a touchdown. Big catch for him, and that puts Florida State on the board and gives them the lead 7-0. And now it's Alabama's turn to try and find a response with 8:16 remaining in this second quarter. fakes the handoff for Buckner, and he's going to take it himself, and he'll get near first down yardage. 2nd and 2, that is aided by another penalty that does force them back to a 2nd and 7. It's going to be a drop back for Buckner. He's trying to escape. He is not able to get first down yardage, but does get 2. And it will officially be a 3rd and 5 now for Alabama that they are looking to convert and trying to stay on the field. Fires down the sideline, and he leads Kendrick Law too far down the sideline. If he would have given him a better throw, he could have been still running, but he will pick up the first down. Here comes Bama. Next throw, and it's a little bit off the mark, and Buckner has his 2nd incompletion on the day. 2nd and 10, still under center for Buckner. Don't know why. It's not really his strength, but I guess it helps for the running game where Roydell Williams is able to roll forward for about 8 yards and gives you a 3rd and 2. Playbook totally open. Florida State not entirely sure if they're going to get run or pass out of a 3rd and 2 look. Here comes some safeties in the box. Let's see if they're going to try and light up Buckner. He gets rid of the ball, but that one's going to be a couple inches short. And now it's decision time for Alabama. What are they going to do here? Are they going to go for it at the spot of the field or punt it? And they do give it back to Florida State, who is looking for a 2-score lead now with 6:16 remaining in the quarter. Handoff to Martinez, and he'll get near first down yardage, but still comes up inches short. That's 6 carries for 31 yards so far for Martinez. 7th carry of the day for Martinez, and he joins a pile up in the middle of the field, but that does have first down yardage. This is a nice pass over the middle of the field to Portier by Kromenhoek, and it's dropped. Only the 2nd incompletion of the day for Kromenhoek. Next snap to Kromenhoek, he hands it off to Davis, who's only able to get 2 yards, and now Florida State faces a 3rd and 8. Kromenhoek rolling out to the right, trying to force it down the sidelines, and it is picked off by Terry and Arnold, and he is returning this, and the Tallahassee native has struck one into the heart to the hometown team, and he puts his new team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, in a tie ball game, 7-7 with Florida State. And now Florida State gets the ball back, but now they are in a tie game. Starts this drive with a screen pass that goes for a loss of 2 yards, 2nd and 12, Florida State. Kromenhoek trying to find room and throws to the middle of the field, and that was a dangerous throw, and it's deflected away, and now Alabama has forced another 3rd down that Florida State is going to have to respond to now. Let's see what they can dial up in the playbook. 4:15 remaining in this half. They really want to try and sustain this drive if they can. Kromenhoek to the right has plenty of time and throwing to the middle of the field, but this is going to be picked off by Caleb Downs. He just did not see the Caleb Downs. It seemed like he thought he had single coverage with Camden Fryer down the middle of the field, but instead the safety help was able to make a great play. It looks like they were able to get 2 bodies down there, and 2 is better than 1, obviously, to make a play like that. And Caleb Downs comes through with a massive play to give the ball back to Alabama. Tie game, 4 minutes to go. This time it's a handoff to Roydell Williams. He'll pick up 2 yards of his own and give Alabama a 2nd and 8 that they now have. Big drop back for Buckner, and he hits Kobe Prentice, who gets 23 yards, and he's crossed the 50-yard line, giving Alabama a real scoring chance now. Alabama under center again, 1st and 10. Safeties in the box trying to load up here, but it doesn't matter when Roydell Williams just pushes you off, and he gets 10 yards anyways. 2nd and inches for Alabama. Drop back for Buckner, and he's going to throw to Prentice. He will pick up 2 yards on that throw. May not have been the most well-advised throw, but it does pick up a 1st down and gives Alabama some confidence. Handoff this time to Richard Young, and he is able to drag some fellas all the way across the 1st down marker. That'll give Alabama another fresh set of downs. Handoff again to Roydell Williams. This time it's only going to go for a yard. And now Florida State has done a pretty decent job containing him, but down in the red zone it's going to be even tougher. Buckner trying to escape some pressure. Don't know how he did it, but he is able to get himself all the way down to about the 3-yard line after a 14-yard rush. And it'll be 1st and goal from here. Going to be tough to stop Bama from this spot. Buckner to the end zone, and that is Kobe Prentice with the touchdown. And this will give Alabama their 1st lead of the day, 14-7. And now the adversity has showed up for Florida State. How is Luke Kromenhoek going to respond? He starts 1st down with a screen pass to Martinez, who puts a great spin move on his defender and picks up 8 yards. Handoff again to Martinez. Florida State not really worried about the time at this point when you're picking up 7 yards at a time with Martinez. Good things are going to come. Minute 40 left. 1st and 10. Kromenhoek in the pocket. He escapes down the right side. He's got plenty of time. He's got Johnny Wilson down there. Throws it up. And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. That is Story, who makes a great play on the 6'7 Johnny Wilson. and somehow a ball deep down there with a 6'7" wide receiver ends up going for an interception. And Johnny Wilson, you got to bat that away. You got to be the bigger man there, but somehow that's going to go down as an interception for Kromenhoek, his third of the half. And now Alabama has a chance to add on even more. Buckner dropping back, throwing to Prentice, and he's going to pick up 3, 14-7 ball game for Alabama at this point. They really would like to get points if they can, but it seems like they're playing it pretty conservatively at this point, letting time run. But a nice play to Kendrick Law for 17 yards may get the offense moving a little bit quicker. Time still ticking, 50 seconds to go. Buckner in the pocket, throws to Brady Hunt for 3 yards. And they still haven't called a timeout. They've let things run, 30 seconds to go for Buckner. He's looking, scrolling around, and finds Kobe Prentice. He'll get 12 yards, and they're getting closer and closer, but still that sense of urgency isn't been there yet. Now, with 15 seconds to go, Kobe Prentice is brought down, and there will be that first timeout as Alabama is nearing midfield. 2nd and 3, 14 seconds to go. Florida State can still keep them out of scoring range, and it's going to be knocked away with 11 seconds remaining, 3rd and 3. Alabama's going to need some kind of big play on this one, you would imagine, if they want to get in a scoring opportunity or even score. Drop back for Buckner. He's looking, got plenty of time, and hits his man, Ja'Cory Brooks, for the first time today. 23 yards gets them in scoring range, and this should be about a 45-yard kick for Alabama from this spot. Let's see what he can do with it. This will be the last play of the half. It's going to be up, and it is good. Alabama is going to go into halftime with a 17-7 lead, and Florida State is facing an 0-3 start if they cannot turn this game around in the second half. Things have definitely not gone their way. You know, a couple of interceptions where you're like, okay, that's probably on Kromenhoek, but a couple of just bad luck looks, and Florida State is going to have to change things on how they're going to play in the second half. I thought there were plenty of opportunities where Alabama really could have put the nail in the coffin against them, but the Florida State defense did step up and make the plays that they needed to. They only gave up 10 points. 7 of those are on the pick six. And the Florida State offense has been very inconsistent. I really don't know what Mike Norvell is going to do in terms of quarterback change. Is this the time to really make that move? Are you going to lose Kromenhoek for the entire year if you make the change now? But maybe your season does need that. We're not going to find out just yet because Alabama is going to start the second half with the ball. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter, 17-7. Let's see how they start. Roydell Williams did not have a heavy workload in the first half, but will take 9 yards to start this one. 2nd and 1 Alabama. Next handoff to Williams. He'll have 2 carries to start the half. 3 more yards and a first down for Alabama. Handoff again to Williams. This time he's brought down by Lundy, who's been very active at the linebacker spot. And then it's going to be a 2nd and 18 after another penalty Alabama's facing. Here goes Buckner. He scrambles outside of some structure. Will pick up about 8, and now it's a traditional 3rd and 10 for the Alabama offense. Florida State looking to get off the field quickly. Drop back and fire. Good throw to Emmanuel Henderson. Really led him to the sidelines nicely, and he picked up a good chunk of yards there to get a first down and cross that 50-yard line. Another big drop back for Buckner. It's batted away. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Alabama offense. Let's see what they have dialed up. They do have Roydell Williams still flanking Buckner in the backfield. Buckner going to sprint out to the left and then fire across the field to Law, who drops this one. And it will be a 3rd and 10 with safeties in the box. Here comes the safety pressure, and Buckner delivers. And he gets Shaz Preston on a beautiful ball with a lot of pressure in his face. That was one of the best throws we've seen all day by Tyler Buckner. That was absolutely gorgeous with safety pressure in his face to make a throw like that. It's now 1st and goal, Alabama threatening for a 3-score lead. Buckner got plenty of time, throws to the end zone, and is batted away. 2nd and goal from about the 10-yard line for Bama. Still got plenty of space to work with. Drop back for Buckner. He's looking, fires to the end zone, and it's picked off. This is KJ Bolden, the true freshman, making a play and providing a spark when they needed it. What a massive play for Florida State. It looked like Alabama was threatening to go up 3 scores, but KJ Bolden had other plans. Let's take another look at this. The drop back from Buckner, looking to the end zone, and KJ Bolden just beat the man to the spot, and he gets his first INT of his career, and it comes at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa in a massive spot. And look who it is. Tate Rodemaker is going to be taking the first snaps of the second half for Florida State. Counter run to Cam Davis. He's going to bounce off some defenders and pick up 6 yards. 2nd and 4, Florida State. Another handoff to Rodney Hill. He'll get first down yardage. And Tate Rodemaker looks pretty content just handing the ball off, and we'll see what happens when he's going to be asked to actually make some plays. But I think Mike Norvell has come to the conclusion that they cannot continue going with Luke Kromenhoek at this point in time. 3rd and 5 for Rodemaker. Rolls out to the right. He's got some green area, and he's able to run. Got some good wheels on him. That'll be 10 yards. And Tate Rodemaker leading the offense pretty efficiently so far. Drops one to Landon Thomas, the true freshman, gets his first catch of the day. 19 yards later, and it's another first down for Florida State. And they have one of their better scoring opportunities on the day. Read option for Rodemaker. He keeps powering forward. 7 yards later, and it's 2nd and 3. The redshirt senior presence of Tate Rodemaker is definitely valuable in moments like this on the road. Not a ton of experience, but a guy who really knows the offense well, and you gotta have to understand how Mike Norvell came to a decision like this, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Rodemaker with the drop back, throws it to Johnny Wilson for 3 yards, and now it's 2nd and 7 for the Florida State offense. Let's see what they have cooked up. Hand off to Rodney Hill, and he's got some area there. He'll pick up 8 when he needed 7, and that's good enough for another first down as they've entered the red zone. Rodemaker fires to the middle of the field, and that's Kentron Portier for 6 yards, as Rodemaker has led them on the most sustained drive of the entire half, and it's Badger almost getting to the end zone off a nice little pick pattern it looked like Florida State ran. 1st and goal, and Rodemaker takes it himself, deservedly so, after a very professional drive by the backup quarterback who has come into the game after Florida State was able to get the interception and lead them all the way down the field, and they have now cut this lead to 3. Roydell Williams on the next rush only gets 1 yard, 2nd and 9. Counter look for Williams, trying to find room to the outside, but Florida State does not give him anywhere to go. 3rd and 8 now for the Alabama offense. They're probably going to have to put this in the air this time. Pretty good protection, and that ball is off the mark, and they are going to punt it back to the new-look Florida State offense, and Tate Rodemaker comes out again. This looks like it is permanent for the rest of the half. Does not look like it was just a little breather for Kromenhoek. Hand off to Rodney Hill. He picks up 7. 2nd and 3 for Florida State. Another handoff, this time to Damian Martinez. He's going to find some room to the outside. He'll get about 7 yards of his own as time ticks away, as we have a little over a minute left in this 3rd quarter. Rodemaker rolls out to the right and throws a beauty of a ball to Johnny Wilson. 21 yards later, and Florida State has crossed midfield on a beauty of a throw. Great job by Rodemaker. He looks to be in total control of the offense so far. Another drop back for him, trying to force a wheel route, and he's lucky that didn't get picked off, but that ball did hit the ground. 46 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. Let's see what else they got. Hand off to Martinez. He makes a big cut, and he is able to get 21 yards. Nice run by Martinez, gashing up this Alabama defense so far. 1st and 10. Rodemaker under center and hands it off to Rodney Hill. Follows some blocks that'll give him about 7 yards. And they have stayed ahead of the sticks the entire time that Rodemaker has been under center. And he has done such a good job with it so far. Roll out to the left, fires to the end zone. Touchdown, Kentron Portier. Beautiful throw. On the run, Rodemaker has been on the money. And that will be the last play of the 3rd quarter as we now head to the 4th. And Alabama faces a deficit again, 21-17. Here comes Roydell Williams. He's powering forward. He gets 10 yards. First down, Alabama. We are now in the 4th quarter crunch time where a lot of plays are going to have the microscope on them because they could be the play that matters and decides this ball game. After another run by Roydell Williams, he's able to help Alabama pick up another first down as they approach midfield. 8-10 left in this game. Here goes Richard Young, making some beautiful cuts. He's taking it all the way down inside the 20-yard line after 35 yards. That's what you love out of a backup running back. Getting the opportunity, coming in with some fresh legs, and providing a little bit of juice to an offense. Handoff again to Williamson. He is stopped up as Florida State has done a decent job of finding those negative plays and forcing Alabama into some downs where they probably aren't as comfortable. Now it's 2nd and 10, 7.5 minutes remaining in this game. Not a lot of possessions remain, and it's Richard Young getting another carry for 9 yards that gets them to a 3rd and 2. Handoff to Williams, and he's stopped up again in the backfield. Florida State is triggering incredibly well. That's DJ Lundy with his 3rd TFL on the day. Under 7 minutes to go, and Glenn Schumann is going to say go for it. It's 4th and 3. You don't know how many possessions you got. You're down 4. You're going to need another score. Here comes Young, and he is not going to get the line to gain. Comes up short, turns it over on downs. Florida State will get the ball back. A little bit of an option look, and Rodemaker is just going to hold on to it. Doesn't want to give the ball away. He'll pick up 2 yards. Puts Florida State in a 2nd and 8. Slant pattern to Johnny Wilson. That will get about 13 yards and give Florida State a first down with under 6 minutes to go. Roll out to the right. Let's see what Rodemaker's got. Dishes it off to Deuce Spann, who's got his 2nd catch of the day. Gives Florida State a 2nd and 3. You have to love all of these manageable situations that Tate Rodemaker has been able to orchestrate for the offense. He's made great decisions, and this offense is now approaching a spot where they are running quite a bit of time, but trying to be very judicious with the decisions that they are making. Martinez tried to run that one out to the outside, but did not find that extra yardage. 2nd and 8. Dumps it off to Johnny Wilson, and he will get first down yardage after the catch. We are at 4:25 remaining, and the play clock is definitely getting drained with every play as Florida State wants to make this the last drive if they can. Badger makes a screen pass catch. He'll lose 2 yards. Those plays just have not been there today. And this time they dump it off to Rondé Gatson, who uses that big frame to stretch forward and get to within a 3rd and 1. Big opportunity for Bama to make a stop, but they are not able to stop Damian Martinez before he gets first down yardage. 2.5 minutes remaining. All 3 Bama timeouts are available to them. Cam Davis can't make any moves to the outside. He'll pick up 1, and there we have that first Bama timeout. 2:30 remaining. Here comes Rodemaker. He's dropping back to pass, actually. He's rolling out to the left, looking for anything, and he just gets hit as he throws, and that ball falls harmlessly to the ground. 3rd and 9, and the clock stops, so big break for Alabama. 3rd and 9 for Rodemaker, trying to find anything, and he finds Johnny Wilson, who is near the first down marker, but is going to come up inches short, and Bama calls the timeout, and now a decision time for Mike Norvell. And he is going to say, let's just kick the field goal. It's going to be a 49-yard try for the true freshman Jake Weinberg. Going to let the time tick here on the play clock, take as much time, let him set himself. Here comes the kick. It is up, and it is a beauty. It is good. Florida State up 24-17. So an Alabama touchdown could send them to overtime. They have 1 timeout remaining. Buckner on the play action finds his man, Shaz Preston, for 5 yards. Alabama has a 2nd and 5 now. Shotgun look for Buckner. Man in motion is Law. He's going to get some good protection, fires to the right, and finds Ja'Cory Brooks. He's able to fight forward and get past the 40-yard line. First down, Alabama. They need that touchdown if they want to go to overtime. Drop back, thrown out of bounds, 2nd and 10. Minute 52 to go, approaching that midfield marker. Throws it out to the left is Richard Young, who does not quite have the juice on that one to escape. He'll only pick up 2 yards. Big 3rd down for Alabama. Safety's in the box, safety pressure. Here it comes, and here's Matthew Hill and KJ Bolden colliding and meeting at the quarterback, sacking him and making him lose 7 yards. It's a 4th and 15 now. Look at the great safety pressure. You see Matthew Hill, number 32, get there, and then number 1, KJ Bolden, helping clean up. Great pressure by the Florida State front, and those safeties just flew in there. And now it's at 4th and 15. The whole ball game on the line now. What does Buckner have with his 2 running backs in the backfield with him? What do they have to try and get this first down? And Kendrick Law makes the one-handed catch but falls to the ground, and that is going to do it. He made a spectacular catch but could not keep his footing, and we are going to see 3 consecutive kneel downs for Tate Rodemaker as he put on quite a performance in the second half. Very professional, as I mentioned earlier, a performance that Florida State desperately needed to get back in the win column, not just in general, but in the SEC. Deservedly so, it's Tate Rodemaker player of the game, and Florida State has escaped the 0-3 start, and it was not pretty. It was a pretty even game between the 2 teams. Florida State had a little more in the running game. They were able to use the quarterback run and had Damian Martinez pretty fresh. But Alabama, they were the team that only turned the ball over once. They had more passing yards, but overall, I thought this was a pretty even game between these 2, and quite a big effort from Florida State. I think this team is not done yet. There is more to be said. Don't quite know what the quarterback situation is going to be for the next game. I think there's still a lot of variables that are kind of up in the air, but I would not be shocked if when we have our next game on the channel, you see Tate Rodemaker taking those first team snaps. I think he showed a lot today, and I think this was a big win to keep the season alive and kind of keep those hopes of some bigger things alive for us. DJ Lundy also a great game on the defensive side. 3 tackles for loss and a sack. He was all over the place and amazing. I actually thought Tyler Buckner played fairly well for Alabama. Definitely didn't lose them the game, but maybe you look back at that red zone interception to KJ Bolden that really could have put the nail in our coffin and put us in a really bad spot. But it's all about surviving and advancing, and we're going to get to that next week. We're 2-2 now overall, 1-2 in the SEC, and there's still a lot to play for at this point. When you look at the SEC standings, there's one team right now, Miami, has a 2-0 record in conference, and they're probably feeling pretty good. And that's a team that we're going to obviously get a chance at, as we'll play all the teams in this division. But everybody else has picked up some losses, and if you're UCF, you still haven't played an SEC game, but there's a lot of opportunity still in the schedule, and I think we can still make a run at this point. Ole Miss is the only team in division that we've lost to, so let's keep that in mind. You always want to get those tiebreakers, and we're just going to have to keep back and get into it. I think there's still a lot of opportunities for this season to have some magic to it, so definitely tune in for that for our next game. Next video on the channel is going to be the Week 4 recap, and then we'll get back to a main game. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and go Noles.